The opinions expressed in the following paid program do not necessarily represent those of WJZ AM 1300, CBS Radio, its employees and sponsors. This is Coons Ford Terp Talk with Bruce Posner. 60 minutes of Maryland athletics and your phone calls at 410-481-1300. Now, here's Bruce Posner and Terp Talk.
How sweet it was a couple nights ago when the University of Maryland went into Bruin country and knocked down the number one team in the country to advance to the Super Regional. And folks, we could tell that the chef's been cooking up a storm. What a tremendous manager, tremendous coach, and everything happens this weekend at the University of Virginia in the Super Regional. You know, I was talking about it last Saturday that the man behind the scenes who doesn't step up and really want credit or anything, but he's the guy who stirs the drink. And what an incredible job he's done this year. He's at every event. The student athletes absolutely worship him. The coaches respect him to no end. I'm honored to call him my friend, and I'm more than honored that he's appearing on my show tonight, and that is our super athletic director, Kevin Anderson. Kevin, welcome into Terp Talk tonight.
Bruce, good evening. Did you call me Reggie Jackson?
No.
Wasn't Reggie the straw that stirred the drink?
Yeah, that's what he said, all right? But you are the straw. You are the straw, all right? Kevin, you know, I know your secret now, and I can say it with total confidence, certainly over the past few years, that in your transformation into your job at Maryland, I haven't met many people who love what they do more and have taken on the love of these teams and these student athletes like you have, where you and me sit there and we commiserate sometimes when we lose and we exult when we win. And, of course, you got to be a little bit more hesitant than I do to show it. But I know that's how you are. I know that's part of your success. And I know that when you show up at these games, the student athletes are like pumped up. I've seen it. I've heard them. And you've really adapted to this position after these years.
Well, Bruce, that's very kind of you. I'm very fortunate to have the position that I do. I mean, I have the best job in the world, being able to be around these wonderful young people. They keep me young, and then I have a great coaching staff, and I work with great people. And so I've been very fortunate and very blessed to be here at the University of Maryland. With everything that the university has to offer, the region is just tremendous. It's been good for me and my family, and that, you know, I love what I do. You're right. I love what I do.
There's no doubt. And you've certainly been through some ups and downs. And the biggest ups and downs was a few years back when you and Dr. Lowe stuck your necks out, and you stuck them way out. I mean, way out. And made the deal for Maryland to move to the Big Ten. And I don't think there's nary a Maryland fan today who hasn't called this move just an utter success for the University of Maryland in almost every sport.
Well, Bruce, that's what Dr. Lowe always says, that to move forward, you have to stick your neck out, and that's what Terps and Turtles do. So that's part of our nature. You know, it's been a great year for us. It's been a great experience. And you and I have talked about this before. And the one thing that I was questioned about was, were we expecting to be competitive? And there were some people that, you know, thought that we wouldn't be competitive right away. Well, in my mind anyway, we were always going in with the mindset that we were going to compete. We're going to compete right away. And there was no reason for us not to think that, because we look at everything that we achieved in the ACC. And I think when we left the ACC, we were the institution that had won the most national championships out of any other ACC team, if I'm correct. And, you know, we've taken that mindset into the Big Ten, and that we were going to be competitive immediately because that's who we are and what we're all about. And if you look at our strategic plan, you know, our goal is to be a top 10 program. Right now, I think that in the President's Cup, we're number 19. So we still have a ways to go, but, you know, that's what the University of Maryland is all about, competing at the highest level, both in the classroom and on the field of competition. And, being part of the Big Ten just expands that.
Let's take a few of the sports at one at a time. And a few years back, Maryland's baseball program was on a high with Eric Bakich. And when he left suddenly with really no warning or anything, there were some doubting Thomases in there. And yet, John Sheff, the man who came up to replace him, I can't say enough about him. I learn more about baseball every time I watch him. And I've been defined as to what small ball is to the end of the degree. But imagine what he's done with this program. Imagine the kids that he's recruited, Kevin. What made you choose John Sheff?
Well, the first thing, Eric did a tremendous job, and he definitely laid the foundation, and Eric recruited some great kids and had the program moving in the right direction. Being at West Point for 5.5 years, seeing what John did up in that region, and then a very close friend of mine who he coached with the Kansas, the coach there called me up. Richie, see, I'm getting old. I can't think of Richie's last name right now, but he called me up about John, and the thing is that we wanted somebody who was going to continue and to move the program forward. And there's no question that John's one of the best baseball guys in the country, bar none. And so it was our expectation that he was going to help us get to the level we are now. I don't think any of us thought that it was going to happen as fast as it did.
Nobody did.
But to get us to where we are now, it's just truly unbelievable. And I know that you and I haven't been able to talk about these last couple games. What a tremendous accomplishment. But the other thing is that we were all up at 2:30 in the morning, and I couldn't believe the text messages that I was getting that so many people were following the Terps, and it was late for some of us old guys, but I think that was just one of the best feelings I've had as an athletic director, that we had so many people up at 2:00 in the morning following this team. This is the kind of excitement that the entire program is just established now, and I'm just glad to be part of it.
Yeah, pins and needles everybody was on in that game. I was having trouble. I was watching it with my brother, and we were having trouble watching it. It was so much on the line, and now 2 games away from a potential College World Series appearance by Maryland. Who would have ever thought that? I mean, there's certain standards that you would never expect. Yeah, we expect that out of lacrosse, and we expect that out of basketball, but never out of baseball. But things change, and now we got to upgrade that stadium, I guess, right?
I'm glad you brought that up, Bruce, because one of the things that we are going to do is there'll be a couple phases, and the first phase is that we need to resurface the field and do some work with the dugouts and also with the fencing, and so we're going to be able to start that immediately. And then we have a group of supporters and donors that promised me that they're going to take the second phase on, and we're going to give the Turtle Smith field a facelift, and so we're working on that now, and hopefully in the next couple of years we'll be able to complete that, and we'll have one of the best baseball fields in the country.
That would be unbelievable, and the position of Bob Turtle Smith Stadium on campus, I still say, is something that when I went to Maryland, I still remember getting the games in. But back then, they used to have games in March and April. And this February thing for baseball and lacrosse, Kevin, is that a topic for discussion for the NCAA this summer?
Yes, I think you're going to see a wide array of how we schedule and how many games we play, and particularly now that we're honing in on these are students, and there shouldn't even be athlete attached to it. They're students that compete athletically for our university and other universities, and their time is of a premium, and that we need to look at how we schedule games and how many hours we're having them put into this, and I think that you will see some changes and maybe some dramatic changes in the NCAA across the board on all these young people in the competitions that they play.
Well, I know for the lacrosse season this year, I didn't get to see a game in warm weather until the very last game of the regular season against Hopkins. Every other game was almost unbearable. And
yes, you're absolutely right, and something needs to be done about that.
No doubt. Well, we're on the topic of lacrosse, the women's lacrosse team, another championship, and how special was Taylor Cummings? I heard that you were there for the Tewaaraton Award, which was almost a given that she was going to win, but what an unbelievable kid and what an unbelievable team.
Well, I like to share stories, Bruce. So here's a great story. I walked into my office the other day, and I have an email from her mother and father thanking us and thanking me for the program and how special it's been, and that they're going to, Taylor's younger sister will be coming to the University of Maryland and playing for us. But here's a young lady who, she's won the Heisman Trophy of lacrosse 2 years in a row, national championships and everything else. And they're reaching out and thanking me and us. I mean, that's a tribute to our program and our school and what it means to a lot of people. So, I mean, again, that's why I have so much fun at what I do and why I do it, because of being around people like the Cummings.
Yeah, and the daughter, the baby daughter, Kelsey, is a 6-footer, and she's going to blend right in. And Taylor is just really special, and so is Megan Whittle, and so are all the seniors. But Kathy's losing 11 seniors. It's going to be a tough road next year, but we have confidence in her, that's for sure. Now, conversely,
I'll tell you,
go ahead.
She's one of the best coaches that I've ever been around.
I agree.
No matter what the gender is, Kathy Reese is a tremendous human being and a tremendous coach.
Without question. Her record speaks of itself. And then, of course, look, a great season by the men's lacrosse team. Not expected to really challenge for the championship. And there we were again, Kevin, on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what to say or whatever, but 3 times now, Memorial Day, we were unable to score goals. And it hurt, and I personally took it as hard as I've ever taken a Maryland defeat. But, when you look back at it, like Coach Tierney once said, you never apologize for getting to the Final Four of the championship game. It was just a miraculous job by Coach Tillman that fell 1 game short.
Well, John does a tremendous job as well, and he has a great coaching staff. And I think this probably was one of his better coaching jobs because of how he got this team and how far he got him into the tournament. And, I know he was the first one to be so disappointed for his team and for his players because the ultimate goal is to win the championship. But it says a lot about him and the program to get them as far as he did because, as you said, it's probably just the 2 of us and the team who expected to get that far. And there wasn't a lot of people that thought we would that we might even make the tournament, let alone get as far as we did. So, again, another tremendous effort by the team and John and his coaching staff.
Now, I've been with you through some of the tough losses. Did you ever think that you would get so emotionally invested in lacrosse, honestly, when you came?
Well, my first experience was up at West Point, and so, there was an attachment there. So coming down, knowing that I was coming to one of the premier programs and one of the fertile grounds of lacrosse in the country, that, I knew that I did have an affinity for it, but it's even grown, and particularly we didn't have a women's program up at West Point, so I particularly became fond of that and the women's game. So it just continues to grow with me.
All right, before we go to the break, and I know you're going to stay on with me today, and I really appreciate that, let's talk very briefly about what you feel the BTN, the Big Ten Network, has meant to the University of Maryland this year.
I could put it in less than 5 or 6 words, but everywhere I go, people come up to me and say it's the best thing that's happened for this program, that they're able to watch all of our kids compete, and that it's just been a tremendous opportunity for our university.
And, if you ask the Big Ten Network, they love Maryland as much as Maryland loves them, because the fact that Maryland has really, here you had a national championship in women's lacrosse, a finalist in men's lacrosse. They've brought so much to the table for the Big Ten. And even Jim Delaney, I happened to see him I was at the Hopkins game, the first game that was played in the Big Ten. And I asked him what he thought, and he said he can't even put in words what Maryland has meant to the Big Ten. So it's been, as they say, a marriage made in heaven, correct?
Yes, that's very well put, Bruce. That's what I think the commissioner feels about it. Our colleagues in the Big Ten, it's just, it's been tremendous for all.
All right. Hold on, Kevin. We'll be back in a few minutes. Got a lot. We just scratched the surface so far, okay? And got some
my friend.
Basketball, a lot to talk about. This is Bruce Posner. You're listening to Coons Ford Terp Talk, and we'll be back in a few minutes with Athletic Director from the University of Maryland, Kevin Anderson, on CBS Radio Sports here in Baltimore.
A crash ties up traffic late on the Beltway. This report is brought to you by Centrum Gummies. Mostly everything easing, disappearing, but you're going to get hung up on the inner loop crawling. From Frederick Road to the crash just beyond security, it obstructs the right-hand lane. You get free of there, and you're at speed through Liberty 795 into the 83 as your waiting line shrinks up top. There's just a late delay in between York and Delaney Valley in Towson. 95 north at the Fort McHenry Tunnel. Delay is gone. 895 now north getting better over the Steel Bridge into the Harbor Tunnel. 95 south leaving downtown. Still busy from 395 into the Caton off of the lane divide you see on a daily basis. There's a couple collisions. Woodbine and Florence, then watch for the crash at the intersection of routes 40 and 24. Introducing Centrum Multi-Gummies, a complete and tasty way to support the most important parts of you. Centrum Multi-Gummies. See gummies in a whole new light. I'm Liz Drabick with traffic. CBS Sports Radio, 1300.
CBS Sports Radio 1300 with Baltimore's homegrown radio every weeknight, Monday from 5 to 7. It's the Coach's Buzz with Coach Muzz Battaglia talking local sports. Tuesday night at 6, it's the AHA Business Radio Show with Alan Hirsch. Wednesday night at 6, it's TerpTalk with Bruce Posner. Thursday night at 6, it's the Booker Corrigan Sports Show. And Friday nights at 6, hang out on the corner with Gil Cuda Jr. Baltimore's homegrown radio every weeknight on CBS Sports Radio 1300.
There's no better place in Baltimore to buy your new or used car from than Coons Ford on Security Boulevard, across from Security Mall. Over the years, I have purchased many cars and trucks for GM Dennis Colazzos, receiving the best price, service, and comfort in dealing with a top-notch executive. Coons Ford Terp Talk listeners can view their inventory at CoonsFordBaltimore.com. Coons Ford carries a huge inventory of Motor Trend's Car of the Year, the Fusion, Hybrid Escapes, the 35-mile-per-gallon Focus, Mustangs, Expeditions, and, of course, the F-Series trucks. Coons Ford simply likes to make a little bit of money many times. What a great place to buy your new Ford. That's Coons Ford of Baltimore, 6970 Security Boulevard, across from Security Square Mall. Take exit 17 off of 695. Remember, when you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Call 410-298-3800.
Kelly Exchange is your one-stop shop for individual and family health insurance coverage. On kellyexchange.com, you can learn about healthcare reform, find out if you qualify for a subsidy, get quotes, compare insurance plans, and purchase coverage. With over 36 years of experience in the insurance industry, kellyexchange.com is the only website you need to help you navigate the complexities and confusion of healthcare reform and purchase quality insurance for you and your family. Visit kellyexchange.com today.
My name is Mark Apple, and I'm a consumer bankruptcy attorney with Waldman, Grossfeld, Apple, and Bear. If you're afraid of losing your home, you're afraid of wages being garnished, call me. 410-437-7711, extension 4, and you'll get to my desk. We have offices located all around the Baltimore Beltway. Call me, Mark Apple, 410-437-7711, extension 4.
This is Bruce Posner for the Nickel Tap House. This is one of my favorite new restaurants on 1604 Kelly Avenue, 443-869-6240. The menu is expansive, from crab claws to fried chicken to ribs to steaks, prepared salads at the table, great soups, a wide selection of craft beers and wines. This is the place to go to. It's in Mount Washington, valet parking, 1604 Kelly Avenue. Call, make a reservation at 443-869-6240. That's the Nickel Tap House. Your first choice for filling prescriptions in the Baltimore area should be the James Pharmacy, a Health Mart pharmacy. As a Health Mart pharmacy, the James Pharmacy has a personal commitment to its communities, is locally owned, and the pharmacists know there is nothing more important than your family's well-being. Located for the last century at 1117 Light Street in Federal Hill, the James Pharmacy is owned and operated by Avi Pelta, a University of Maryland pharmacy school graduate. Though located in Federal Hill, the James Pharmacy delivers at no charge to the entire Baltimore metro area. Outside of Baltimore, no problem. The James Pharmacy will UPS your prescriptions on a moment's notice. Open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 3. Call the James Pharmacy, a Health Mart pharmacy, at 410-752-5810. Remember, Health Mart, caring for you and about you. Is it a time for your family to have the services of a financial planner? Call Rob Weissman, a chartered financial consultant. Rob has provided financial planning, investments, and insurance products to the Baltimore community for over 26 years. Rob will provide a free consultation, review your financial positions, and make recommendations. He will monitor your financial plan on an ongoing basis. Call Rob Weissman, 410-653-6260. Rob Weissman is a registered representative of Parkland Securities Company, member FINRA SIPC. Baltimore, listen up. If you want crabs, you have to head to the Costas Inn on North Point Boulevard. There is no comparison in all of Maryland for the greatest crabs and crab cakes ever. Costas also serves unbelievable steamed shrimp, Greek salads, and steaks for lunch and dinner. Nick, Pete, and Costas Triantopoulos run the perfect restaurant to go with family and friends. Give Costas Inn a call at 410-477-1975 and tell them that TerpTalk guy sent you.
We hit Terminus!